Hello there, and welcome to Roll on the Adventure, the podcast where we create tabletop role-playing games, and then we play them.
And then we run them into the ground.
And You're running this one, aren't you?
Yep, I'm running this one, so I will carry on with the intro. So hello, I'm Moley, and we are going to be doing a live play of Temporal Stereotype Zoo, the game we attempted to make last podcast. Hopefully you've listened to it, and hopefully you've seen how the game evolved, and if not, oh well. There should be, this should work. It should work. I'm sure it will work. Are you guys sure it will work?
Pretty sure.
I have faith in you.
I'm confident.
Good. Okay, cool. Right, so with that, on with the intro. Roll on the adventure. We'll have a real intro one day.
Training.
I mean, it went better than the first one.
It did. I'm genuinely worried that if we become popular, I'm genuinely worried we might have to do a live performance of this on stage somewhere.
Oh, come on. That would be very easier.
True.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about singing the damn song on stage. Right.
We're not a barbershop quartet just yet.
Not yet. Right. So for those of you who haven't listened to the last one or have forgotten, Temporal Stereotype Zoo is about a group of disillusioned specimen actors attempting to escape their confinement in the Temporal Stereotype Zoo. Ooh. So, in the setup phase, we need to decide the time bracket. So we are going to be playing from the 80s.
Cool.
Yep. And then we have stereotypical characters. So I quickly went and wrote down a group of 80s stereotypes. So we have the coked up businessman, the heavy metal singer, the punk rocker, I know it's technically the 70s, but the aliens don't know that, a computer nerd, a conservative Christian parent, a Greenpeace protester, a Miami cop, an ex-Special Forces commando with a heart of gold, a stand-up comedian, and actual Ronald Reagan. So which of the stereotypes are you interested in playing, guys?
I was thinking of doing the heavy metal singer one.
Cool.
I already know the period and the genre, so why not?
Cool. So you're going to do them straight? Is it actually going to be like a singer from a band, or is it going to be a singer that is covered in heavy metal things, or a fat guy covered in tinfoil? Like, how are you going to?
Well, I really have this idea of a band called Steel Jaguar or something, and long hair, tights, possibly really obscenely colored ones.
Okay, so suitably ridiculous, like the metal kind of one.
Yeah,
okay. I can dig that. I can dig that. That's pretty fucking cool. Right, so Purple, what are you going for?
I'd be up for either the punk rocker or possibly the stand-up comedian.
I mean, you could have the music rivalry, or...
Are we all right to do the brainstorm of things that we might do before I pick?
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm just curious what you're interested in, and then we can direct the conversation, So you're thinking either the punk rocker or the stand-up comedian.
I'd like to point out for the listeners that usually we sort of generate these as we were playing. However, for the interests of making this an enjoyable radio broadcast, we pick some ahead of time.
Yeah, rather than us sitting in silence making a character.
And then, doing the brainstorm when only one person has a clue what we're talking about.
Yeah, and Chris, what are you thinking?
I'm probably going to go for the computer nerd, who probably doesn't actually know much about computers and basically just flails in a vaguely technical-looking fashion, pretending to know what they're doing.
Mainframe.
Basically, yes. Basically like most consultants.
Okay, I do quite like the idea that the stand-up comedian has an implant where he can only talk if he's standing.
Or maybe not an implant. Maybe he just has to do it because the keepers will get mad if he doesn't.
He gets shocked if he doesn't. If he sat down and talked. Okay. So we've got a computer nerd, a heavy metal singer, and Purple. Any thoughts, or do you want to go through to the brainstorm?
I'd like to go through to the brainstorm. I think we should brainstorm a couple, like at least one more.
Okay, cool. So I'll pick one because we'll do the conservative Christian parent.
Okay.
As the other one. In a zoo containing a punk rocker, a conservative Christian parent, a heavy metal singer, a stand-up comedian, and a computer nerd. What do you think the visitors would expect to see from like the computer nerd?
Mainframes and hacking.
Mainframes and cool.
Lots of big dramatic loading bars and furiously typing away on 3 keyboards at once.
Okay, typing on 3 keyboards at once. I get
Lots
the feeling
of
3
snacks.
Oh, good point. Yeah,
What was that? Sorry.
lots of snacks.
Lots of snacks.
Yes.
Getting beaten up by jocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heavy glasses, like thick rimmed ones.
Okay, and big thick glasses. Cool. I think we can call that for the computer nerd.
Yeah.
So mainframes. So we've got mainframes and hacking. Big ominous loading bars.
Cool.
Typing on 3 keyboards at once. Lots of snacks. And then getting beaten up by jocks and big thick rim glasses.
Cool.
Okay, so for the punk, what do you think people would be expecting from punk?
Smashing things.
Smashing thing?
Yeah. Angry shouting,
A lot of anger.
loud music.
And
Yeah,
Mohawk.
rage against the man.
Smashing
I think we
things,
should just not mention the music.
being angry. Oh, putting safety pins through things.
Yes.
Anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like they know the image of a punk, but not that it's actually related to music, something
Yeah.
like that.
Ever more ridiculous hair.
Yeah.
Just randomly between scenes, it gets crazier every time.
It gets bigger. Dimitri, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought of the, you told about the Mohawk thing, bright purple hair or something.
We've got one more, and then we can be at
Tattoos, perhaps.
tattoos.
Okay.
Have to continue to get them removed and put on. Anything else? So we've got smashing things, being angry, safety pins through things, ever more ridiculous hair, and tattoos.
I think I'm cool with that.
Okay. The stand-up comedian, well, talking while standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They expect people to laugh. Maybe they don't necessarily expect why, but they're supposed to make people laugh.
So people laughing.
Carrying a microphone around.
Oh yeah, microphones. That's a very good point.
If it's the 80s, probably quite loud clothing as well, isn't it, normally?
That's true. Loud clothing.
Insulting people?
I think heckling, so getting insulted.
Ooh, that could be interesting. I like it.
Because I like the idea of the robots that auto write things.
Yeah.
Like basically kind of heckles made up by those robots.
Oh, beautiful.
Your sister is a laundromat.
Brilliant.
So talking while standing, people laughing, microphones, loud clothing, heckling. Anything else?
Probably alcohol.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so for the heavy metal singer.
Biting the head off a bat.
I do like biting the heads off of things.
Okay. Yeah, could get behind that. Leather pants.
The tightest possible leather pants.
Yeah.
Ridiculous spandex.
A lot of hair, like really long hair.
Giant hair. Oh, pyrotechnics and light shows.
Oh, yeah.
And huge platform boots.
I think we might be able to put the tightest possible leather pants, ridiculous spandex, and huge platforms into just utterly ridiculous clothing.
Yeah.
Because that saves us.
I could have a guitar around,
Oh, yeah.
Used as a weapon, perhaps. It's supposed to be breaking, broken and stuff. Or
Yeah, well, like musical instruments. It doesn't matter which
Musical
one it is, just
Or if
a
it
musical
works.
instrument. Yeah, because I love the idea of you like, why have you got a banjo? I don't know. They just gave me a banjo today. Apparently, I'm playing.
The solo banjoist.
Yeah, I'm playing the electrical banjo. Right. The conservative Christian parent.
Picket sign. I think they're
A
going to be
Bible.
picketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And quite buttoned up clothing. Well, I like the pictures of everybody in their jumpers you were sharing with us earlier.
So my day job, I had to sort through a load of knitting patterns from the 70s, and my God, some of those pictures were glorious. But that'll be for a different game.
We're going to have to put those up now that you've mentioned it. You do
Bible.
know that,
Oh well,
right?
those people are probably long dead, so it's cool. Ticket signs, Bibles,
Lecturing people
lecturing.
Yes.
just on whatever topic.
Getting angry about random weird cultural stuff that makes no sense to the onlookers.
I think that might be a bit too overlapping.
It's a bit meta. Yeah.
True, yeah.
I was thinking fear of smiting.
God-fearing.
Yeah, you have to be
Yes.
scared. Yeah. So God-fearing. I'm really tempted to just go out there and do giant crosses or giant religious symbols, which does seem a bit too, well, one, it can go a bit KKK, and also it's a bit out there.
I think it might just happen.
Oh, yeah, of course, because that does just happen.
In the game, it might just occur.
Picket signs, Bibles, lecturing people, God-fearing, and...
Sweaters.
Sweaters, yes. That's a very good point. Or, beige sweaters.
A lot of beige.
Beige clothes.
50 Shades of Beige.
Malcolm pulled out his slide ruler. And then...
Moving swiftly on.
Okay, right. So that is what they're expecting from each of the things. So now the next section is to figure out what the mysteries of the zoo are. Now, I will be going and talking to each guy individually, but the mysteries are, so people out there know, what is the purpose of the zoo? What do the keepers not understand? What do the guests want from their visit? What makes the keepers strange? And what happens when you misbehave? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick from the answers they give me, and that will form the background of the zoo. But they won't know which ones are the real ones yet. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, with a convenient gap between each one so that people can deafen themselves, can I please have purple first?
Oh, good. I don't have to do the deafening thing first.
Okay, purple.
Right then. So,
what is the purpose of the zoo?
See, I was thinking of it as some sort of source of knowledge. It's like a big divination experiment. It's like they're men who stare at goats sort of thing.
Okay, so they're breeding, they're keeping this population alive because they're hoping to find one with cool, funky powers.
Oh, well, I was thinking it's we'll go with some It's some sort of experiment.
Okay, so it's an experiment to do something cool. Okay, what do the aliens or the keepers not understand?
The roles that we're inhabiting aren't like genetic. They're not subspecies or species of human. They're actually humans in a role.
Oh.
You don't get born as a comedian.
You become a comedian.
Yeah, whereas I don't think they get that.
Okay, cool. I like that. So that's kind of, if you staple someone into a business suit, they become the business.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So what do the guests want?
I think that the guests are probably going to be the either not so much the scientists, but the or the equivalent that the keepers have, but the people in charge of the project.
Oh, okay, so they kind of come and tap on the glass.
Yeah, they want to understand their enemies.
Okay, so the keepers are kind of malicious, basically.
Well, not necessarily the keepers, but the guests, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what makes the keepers very, very strange?
They're very preoccupied with appearance, both yours and theirs.
Okay, so like if you muss up their clothes, they'll panic.
Or take it out on you. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Cool. But that gives a... Okay, that's cool. And then what happens to you if you misbehave?
You are replaced by a genetic, not a duplicate. They're slightly modified, like the next iteration of their artificial breeding project, and it's got your memories up to your last backup.
Okay, how often do you get backed up?
I don't know.
Okay, so potentially you could just get backed up, then do something really risky because there's relatively little risk. You'll only lose a couple of hours, whereas if it's been 2 weeks since your last backup, you might be a bit cautious.
Yeah, but I don't know. So...
Okay, that's cool. Right.
That's what I think happens.
That's what you think. I see. Right. Well, that's great. So if you can make yourself go the deaf. Hello. Right. You are the heavy metal singer. And right, so what is the mysteries? What is the purpose of the zoo?
So my idea was that the zoo is a way to keep sapient species that might destroy themselves. So the aliens, like the keepers, are hoping to preserve the population.
Okay, cool.
In a sense that, you're too dumb to be left to your own devices. We'll just keep a few of you right here so that you don't go extinct.
And then we can watch the fireworks when you do blow yourselves up. Okay. Right, so what do the keepers not understand about the inhabitants?
I think that the keepers, are aliens of a different sort of biology, and they can absorb inorganic matter, like they can eat rocks and stuff like that. And I think they are really puzzled by by humans not being able to do so. So humans leave a lot of waste.
They're like, why won't you eat your shale? Are you ill?
Yeah, or like chips, crisps, they would eat them with the packaging on or something like that.
Yeah, I like the idea of. So it keeps asking for chips. So we've given it a variety of chips. We have slate chips, wood chips, glass chips. Right. So what do the guests want from their visit?
I think that corresponding to the purpose of the zoo, I think the guests want to go on school trips or educational trips, and they try to teach the children or the pupils of all sorts, like, hey, this is what humans do. Never do that. That's stupid. Okay,
so we're kind of like a warning more.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like alien kids that turn up.
Yeah, I don't know like how old they might be. They could be university students, or they could be elementary school students, or adults.
I do quite like the idea of like an alien reaching into the pen to try and grab a human. Being like, no, Billy, you're not allowed to grab them. But I wanna. So what makes the keepers strange?
I think I want to have them be like extremely large. Like I had this idea of how humans keep ant colonies. Like they could have that
so
sort of.
They're gigantinormous.
Yes, or you're basically ants in front of them.
Okay, wow, that makes having elementary school kids even more terrifying.
Yes, you can.
I got a magnifying glass. Watch them dance.
Or more than this, like you could, if you're a human in the zoo, you can, in the horizon there's a huge eye looking at you because some kid is ogling.
Oh, that's genuinely terrifying. Right. So, and what happens if you misbehave?
I think that just because these aliens sort of think that we're too dangerous, I think that you get one strike, and if you keep being naughty, they just kill you.
Oh, they're just done.
Termination. Like you're too big of a risk to be allowed to continue.
Okay, cool. That's all good. Right. Well, now I will attempt to get Chris. And then
okay.
We can begin playing. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Right. So, what is the purpose of the zoo?
To preserve the variety and history of humans.
Okay, so it's like, the 80s were a very special time. Here's our 80s exhibit. The Regency period was a period of great emotional repression. Here's our Regency exhibit. Kind of like that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Play fairly straight.
Okay. What do the keepers not understand?
Human emotions.
Okay, so they're like data that they want to understand them, or is it like they just don't? They're like, so why are you sad? I mean, your dog kept crapping on the floor, so we shot it.
Yeah, they're mostly kind of keeping it going kind of on inertia and following lots of rules rather than actually knowing that humans are like fully sentient / sapient and
okay, so they basically think
kind of thoughts.
Is it a bit like they can't understand the difference between us and the the automated bits of the zoo? Just our maintenance subroutines are a bit longer.
Yeah, where the humans are kind of a lot squishier and meatier, but it's pretty much like, well, we dressed this one as the rock star. Why is he not behaving like the other one that was dressed like the rock star? Let's just keep poking him with a science stick until he does.
The science stick. Right. So, what do the guests want from their visit?
To try and see something that might actually make them feel some emotion or something that actually make them feel properly alive again.
Oh, okay. I, to be honest, your one is starting to make me think it's just a zoo that's attended by sad robots. Just like little Eeyore robots. Yeah, with science sticks, of course. So, what is strange about the keepers?
And so the keepers themselves are mostly ex-inmates that have been semi-cyborged or otherwise mentally treated to become the keepers. So they kind of become this slightly weird, homogenous hive mind type thing.
So it's like so you know what happens if you screw up because you can see like, oh, there's Dave who told a keeper to piss off.
Dave, who used to be the coke head.
Yeah, got too coked up and bit the keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They come back, obviously, kind of changed and a lot duller.
I get you. Right, and what happens if you misbehave?
Tying into the last answer, obviously,
you
get taken away, semi-lobotomized, and become one of the keepers.
Okay, cool. So there's like I say, there's a direct threat. You can see like, oh crap, that happened, so this happens. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Right, and now let's see if we can get everyone back without a tech fail. Oh. Yay! I think there's everyone back.
Probably is.
Yes.
Yep.
Right, so I have your mysteries. I've thrown a couple of my own in for good measure. But I know. And I've picked the ones that are being used. Okay?
Ooh, spooky.
I know, right? I know.
So we don't know them.
We don't get to know them.
Yet. The obvious ones, obviously, you'll know, but right now you don't know which ones I've chosen.
So, first things first, we're going to do the intro scenes, eh? The daily routines.
Yes. So the way this works is that each of the players takes it in turns in doing their daily routine as their stereotype. And the other three players get to be, we each create an obstacle for them to have to get round and kind of describe how the crowd and the keepers react and that lot. And then it allows us to build up what their daily routine is and then choose from skills that will boost that. But we'll get to that after we've horribly abused the other members of the podcast. I'm not going to lie, this is partly the reason why I wanted to run this game rather than just having Purple scream, "Emote for me!"
You've been in one of Purple's games then?
Yes, I've been in one of Purple's games. For anyone at a convention, you should play in one of Purple's games at least once in your life.
They tend to be an entertaining experience.
Yeah, and if you're not the target of Emote for me, it's fantastic because you can just watch them. Right, so let's start with, well, you're top of the list, so let's start with Chris, the computer nerd. So you are in the 80s section of the Human History Zoo, and you have been woken up by the bing bong bong tone that tells you that the keepers will be coming around to clear out your pen and feed you and things like that. So what do you do in the morning? What is your thing you do just as the keepers start coming round?
Okay, as I'm obviously on display and need to be doing my thing, I make sure to check all of my computers, make sure my bars are in the correct position, even though none of them actually mean anything. Hammer furiously on some keyboards while swearing. Adjust some what they think look like server racks, but they're basically just shelving with bits of metal on.
Cool. So one of the keepers comes around and is like, "Oh, look, he's happy today. Oh, tell you what, we'll give him a treat." Oh, look, he's saying the intertubes again. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, it's cool. We'll give him a special treat. And he's like, "Hey, come over here, boy. Come over here." What do you do?
Look around suspiciously before approaching.
He's like, "Hey, I got a special treat for you. I've got a special treat. And he hands through the feeding hatch. He hands you a 6-pack of Jolt Cola, a giant bag of Doritos, cheese flavored Doritos, and then he's like, "Because you've been good, shh, don't tell anyone. Here's a special treat." And he gives you a tub, like a little plastic seaside bucket full of silicon chips, and he's like, "You enjoy them chips now." Shh. And he goes away.
Oh wow, this will make me even faster.
So, Purple, do you want to do what happens when people actually enter the zoo?
Okay, so how are we imagining these keepers? Do they look human?
They look humanoid, yeah. It tends to be, so a lot of the glass is like smoked, so you can't really get a clear view of them at the moment.
Okay, so there's going to be 3 vaguely humanoid figures. The sort of tall, rotund one in the middle, and 2 slightly shorter, slightly thinner ones to the sides. And they're kind of sauntering towards the smoked glass separating off your enclosure. As you can see, the figure of the keeper sort of flitting to the side, to the sides of them, around them.
So, what do you do when guests are watching you? Dun dun dun.
As they're approaching, I'm going to dramatically pop open one of my cans of Jolt Cola, making sure it hisses and spots, dramatically rustling the bag of crisps while not actually taking them out to eat because I don't actually like that type of food. So basically just making a lot of noise while hammering away on a keyboard.
Okay.
Slotting some of the chips into random holes on the metal pseudo mainframe board, even though they are literally just bits of metal going into holes.
Cool. So through the glass you hear like the Charlie Brown wop 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 wop, and then a slightly higher pitch wop 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 wop. Wop, 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 wop. You reckon that it might be like a parent and children guests because they're like explaining what you're doing. So does that change anything?
No, just keep hamming up and trying to look busy while not actually eating the crisps or drinking the Coke at all.
Okay, cool. So after a short amount of time, they go away and you're left in relative peace. Dimitri, what is the final thing that happens during the course of the day before the zoo closes?
I think at some point they might get the weather system, shifted. So it would be cool to see how the programmer, like the hacker, reacts to rain in their environment. Just because there's weather on Earth, so sometimes
clearly there must be weather where it is.
Sky.
Yeah. One second, I'm gonna. One second, I just need to get the Blood Bowl weather chart up. Give me 2 seconds to find the Blood Bowl weather chart, and then I'm gonna roll on that because that's too perfect.
Oh, brilliant!
Blood Bowl weather.
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're not. Here we go. 2d6. That is that's an 11. You chose it exactly right. It is pouring rain. So you're merrily typing away, and then all of a sudden you hear this almighty boom of thunder and like solid rods of rain just start completely hammering you. What are you going to do?
Does it look like I'm currently being observed?
Possibly, because like the rain is so heavy it kind of obscures the glass. Unfortunately, all of your PCs, obviously because they're electric, start arcing and sparking everywhere. So what are you going to do?
God, no, this must be the government. Their weather control satellites. Launching into a paranoia fuel conspiracy rant, and also try to protect the open bag of crisps because I can possibly trade it to one of the other inmates.
Okay, cool. Cool.
I like to think that the keepers are making notes of his paranoid rantings.
He's ranting about weather control satellites again. Maybe we should give him less silicon chips. He seems to be getting a bit antsy. Right, so that is the day ends. Boom, boom, boom. And you can hear the keepers walking around. And you get your evening meal, which is just kind of calorie bricks. They're just bland, tasteless, but they give you all the nutrients you need.
Space food.
Yeah, basically, like they're just bricks of all the nutrients you need, and a liter, like carafe of water. And the keeper's like, "You did really good today, little buddy. Like, keep it up, keep it up." And then night falls. So, after your horrifying routine, so we have skills in the game. We have bodging, fighting, observation, performing, sabotage, scrounging, and stealth. So, of those, Chris, what do you have a talent for?
Bodging things together into working order.
Okay, cool. So you have a talent for bodging. What is your what do they not expect you to do, but you do it occasionally to make them happy?
Be able to fight.
Ooh, so occasionally that's like when someone comes in, they release a jock into the arena.
Kind
and
of put up a bit of a show, and then actually probably normally just sucker punch them or hit them around the head with a broken off piece of shelving or something.
Okie dokie. What do you do with so what's the thing that you do very, very rarely, but the crowd, like, absolutely wows the crowd? They all get their smartphones out when you do it.
Using stealth to basically, despite my probably fairly large and bulky body, be able to suddenly like turn around and hide somewhere in my enclosure and then pop out somewhere else.
Oh, okay. So you've got like secret tunnels.
Yeah, secret nerd tunnels through the various server racks and other crap.
A series
Okay, cool.
of tubes.
That's what's surrounding your enclosure is the internet, which is of course a series of tubes. And then what is the thing you cannot stand?
Having to scrounge around in all of the dirty junk they throw in and expect me to do stuff with for them.
Okay, so like you're good at bodging it together, but you hate digging it up.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Right, next in the list is purple.
Okay.
So are you going to be the stand-up comedian or are you going to be the punk?
I'm going to go with the punk.
You're going to go with the punk. Okay, cool. So you are sleeping in your little angry bed and bing, boom, boom, the lights come on. And because you're an angry one, the keepers are a bit more cautious with you.
Yeah.
And
I will try smash them. Yes.
Yep. So through your feeding hole comes on the end of a stick, comes a bottle marked whiskey, spelled WHISKAY.
Yeah.
Yep. A bag of some sort of powder, a handful of safety pins, and a banner that reads "Funk the Polip."
Okay. Right. Oh, it's Funk the Polip Day.
Yep.
Forgot. Oh crap.
It's every other Wednesday is Funk the Polip.
Yeah. Great. I'm going to get the hat from somewhere, but I traded it to that guy for can't remember even what I traded it for.
So, what's your plan just as the day begins? How do you begin your normal day?
Right, because it's Funk the Polip Day, I've somehow got to get my hands on a policeman's helmet by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, things tend to go a bit badly for me.
Yep. So, you're going to try and get hold of it so you can poop in it?
Yeah, that's what they need to see. It seems I don't get why this is happening. It's just they keep me at really at arm's length, so I don't get to learn a lot like necessarily some of the others.
Okay, cool.
But I'm gonna go around. I've got to do my sort of daily ritual, which is find something to smash it, and insert the pieces into my hair.
Okay, cool. Right, so you have done your morning routine, and you hear the keeper's go. He's an angry little bugger, but at least he seems pretty happy today. So, Dimitri, your chance to make Chris suffer. What happens next?
Oh, good! It's another chance to make Chris suffer, and I'm safe.
Oh, sorry, purple. Sorry,
no, I can make Chris suffer.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, I think that. So, that was unexpected. I think that the cum and the knock on, on the window to
get me moving, maybe.
Yeah, so to notify you that the food
Like
coming
when-
and stuff like that.
So like when school kids bang on the monkey enclosure to wind them up.
But
Yeah.
but all the food they give you is a plastic simulacrum of a proper food. So, there's wax bananas and plastic porridge that you cannot eat, and they're just messing with you.
Cool. So Purple, you're in there and you've got you can hear loads of like as they're banging on your enclosure and that lot, and you've just been given a bucket of fake food.
The guests or these?
Yeah, the guests are banging on the you can see like shadowy forms of like little guests.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. Like that's the thing. They want me to try use these in whatever I'm doing, but how the heck am I supposed to smash stuff with plastic fruit?
Well,
I'm looking around. I've got a plan. So I'm gonna take my safety pins and I'm gonna put safety pins through the plastic fruit and make myself like a necklace of pierced plastic fruit, which has got to be the most punk thing. From my experience.
Yeah. You kind of hear like oh, and then
as soon as they go I'm gonna throw the whiskey bottle at them.
Smashes on the thing and they're like yeah. And then you can hear the deeper wop 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 wop, and then the group gets led away. So Chris, your chance to make Purple suffer for once.
So as it's the screw the fuck the police day, as the audience gets even busier outside, there's a rattling as one wall of the enclosure
police.
Yep, as one wall of the enclosure opens and several
I hate this bit.
Like automaton police step through, kind of clanking badly towards you. They're not particularly well made or anything.
They come towards you going, now then. And then when they get near you, they, not so comedy, just hit you with a baton.
Yeah. At this point, can we do the fade to black and it just fades back up to me on the floor, kind of in the fetal position?
Yep, you have been badly beaten and lying in amongst you, in amongst the pile of stuff, there is a policeman's hat that has been left for you. Are you going to go through with it today?
I'm in a bit much pain.
So you're not going to do it?
I took a bit of a bad beating. I'm just going to kick it towards the smoked glass and then slink off into my angry bed.
You hear from behind the smoke glass, aww, and then wah 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 wah, and then later on, boom boom boom. The zoo is closing, and through your food hole comes a calorie brick and a liter of water, and you're guessing by the thing floating in the top of the water that one of the keepers spat in it.
Yeah.
So, from your experiences today, what do you have a talent for?
Right. I think that I have a talent for some sort of I think scrounging, because I was supposed to go find a helmet and things like that.
Okay.
I think that scrounging is probably going to be my thing. I really hate fighting.
So you hate fighting?
I'm just not very good at it.
And
if I'd had a weapon, I might have been okay.
But
they
fighting
make me fight
robot policemen.
Yeah, they make me fight a lot, but I'm shit at it.
Okay, cool. What don't the crowd expect you to do?
I've actually got far better observational skills than they tend to give me credit for.
Okay, like you knew it was the second Wednesday.
Yeah, I can piece these things together.
Okay, and what's the thing you do that the crowd absolutely loves, but you don't do it very?
Like when I put on a big performance, like the whole crapping in the helmet thing. Like I'm really good at getting people enthralled.
Okay, so you don't do it very often, but when you do, you really go.
Yeah, like this guy, does the bare minimum.
Okay, cool. So you're like the overweight tiger in the zoo.
Yeah, like he's capable of it, but he's just limping through because he's just sick of it.
And keeps getting beaten up by robot
exactly.
policemen. Just love the idea of the keepers being like, oh, he doesn't seem to be reacting very well to the beatings. Maybe we should give him more beating.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening, like, right now.
Mm.
But whether Jack will have worked it out yet, I don't know.
Right, so, Dimitri, you wake up in your chrome silk sheeted bed surrounded by groupies, and it's the morning. Boom, boom, boom. Unfortunately, because you're a heavy metal singer, it's incredibly loud, and pyrotechnics go off and lasers shoot around and all of that lot. So you're basically woken up by the start of World War III. That's
a horrible way to wake up. So I feel a little bit grumpy. I push the groupies around just to find my way to the floor. Yeah, and they're all kind of like badly made real dolls. So like some of them have got like one arm longer than the other, and one of them's got 4 boobs, and another one's head's on backwards.
Like Excellent. They were made by people that weren't really familiar with humans.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I make my way to the closest mirror to where my Ace Frehley makeup, so white face and star on my eye or something.
You're going full Kiss.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So while you're getting ready, the hatch opens and the keepers are like, "Oh, he's so cute when he's preening, isn't he? No, oh, I can never stay mad at this little guy. Oh." And so you get slid through the hatch. You have a bag of unidentifiable powder. Your instrument today is a keytar, which has a suspicious-looking nozzle on the front of it. You have a pair of wraparound shades and flares, as in road flares, not the clothing flares.
Okay.
So what do you do as the day is starting up after you've gotten your makeup on?
Well, I really try to see if the keytar actually needs to be blown, or is it mechanically working. I try to play a little bit. I'm still a musician anyway, so
Cool. Well, when you push the keys, it out of the hole at the end. It shoots. Depending on what key you push, it shoots either fire or lasers out of the end of the keytar.
That's insanely awesome, and I just spend my time dousing with flames the room, the sheets, the groupies.
You're just destroying everything with a flamethrower.
Well, safely, like the bed. I will probably not need it. They'll replace it tomorrow or something like that.
Okay, cool.
The groupies I don't really care about, so I can shoot lasers at them and see if they something happens to them. I'm trying to conceal the flares as much as I can, like avoid using them to do anything to them. I think I might find them useful later.
So, Chris, what happens at the beginning of the day? Like, what happens next in the day?
So as he's going about his business, after setting fire to all of the groupies and everything else there, it's one of the designated show days.
Oh.
So one of the walls of the enclosure opens up to reveal a small stage with various lasers and dry ice dispensers and stuff. So again, because they
pyro for a tiny space.
Yes, it's basically choking on lots of dry ice and so forth. You can just about see for once there's not the translucent glass in the way, but through all of the dry ice and steam and lasers shooting you in the eyes, you can't actually see what the guests look like. But you have to go out there and give it your all to actually get your performance in and hopefully earn some extra treats or not, depending on what you do. But as you go out, you hear kind of more distant, more closer cheering and people getting excited to see you rather than the distant, which is all that we can normally hear.
Cool.
Is there a backing band?
Yes, there is. They are other members of the 80s, fiesta. You are not the lead singer for today. You're lucky. You are instead on backup keytar, so you're one of the 3 keytar players. Yep.
It's a 4-piece band.
So there's 3 guitar players, 11 drummers, 7 bass players, 1 lead singer, and about 35 backing singers. And the lead singer steps up and just goes, "I can't take it anymore. I can't. And you hear the crowd like boo, 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 and then a big like mechanical swinging arm, like out of a UFO catcher machine. Yeah, kind of grabs him, and he goes like, "No, no, no, no!" And he just disappears into the ceiling, and then one of the other backup singers gets pushed forwards, and he's like, "Okay, guys, like let's just do that. Get that song that goes like wow!" And
a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, we're not singing. We are not singing.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, I try to cope with the smoke and lasers. I usually keep my eyes closed since the audience isn't going to notice much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And, everyone else is a robot, right?
No, they're all people.
Oh, they're all people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Quite a lot of people in this facility.
Well,
Okay.
for this, because it's a band, and you need guys in the band.
Okay, so I try. If there are actually people, I try to upgrade myself at some point. So I try to conserve my energy and do a really good backup singing sort of.
Okay, you're trying to like steal the spotlight.
You have to fight for a solo.
Yeah, or something like this. Try to move towards the center without actually being on the singer spot.
Okay, cool.
Oh.
So you go and push forwards, and you manage to pull it off, and then you can hear from the keeper that is leading round. As like the smoke clears a bit, you see that it's lots of like children keepers, and 1 adult keeper kind of stood off to the background. And this like the keeper is stood there and goes like, "And here we see the beta male jostling with the alpha male singer for an increased chance of breeding rights. Good on you, little dingy. Good on you, little dingy. Watch and let's see what he does." And the spotlight swivels onto you, and you rock out on a solo, which they all seem to enjoy.
I do the devil's horns with my hands just
Cool.
to keep them excited.
Wonderful. So you get cheers and that lot. Right, so Purple, the concert has finished. He has been shooed back into his own enclosure. And what happens now?
I think that because he got the spot, he's going to get a treat of some sort.
Cool.
Except one of the other, like a couple of the others that he got beat to do the solo are probably going to try steal it from him.
Okay, cool.
The band that aren't completely split up.
Yeah, they're in nearby enclosures, but they're not.
Yeah.
So one of the keepers turns up, and he's like, "Hey, boy, you did really good today. We've got a special treat for you. We'll fix the bed and all that lot. But here you go, boy. Here you go." And he passes through an utterly, the Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, like flowy robe crown thing.
Okay.
So you've got this like giant cape that billows out behind you when you move around.
Wicked, like
Ooh.
Genghis Khan.
Yeah, and I mean when I say it's giant, I mean it's literally like 20 foot long.
Now I'm thinking of Edna from The Incredibles.
Yeah, no capes. Yeah, and sure enough, after the keeper goes away, the guy who was the lead singer kind of sneaks through the gap between your enclosure and his, and he's like, "Dude, that was totally meant to be my giant cape."
I don't think so, mate.
Well, no, dude, because like now they think that I'm going to be the beta, and like I don't want to be the beta. That means they might get me fixed. I don't want that.
Yeah, otherwise I'm going to be the beta, so I keep the cape, I guess. Sorry.
You're going to give them the finger and keep the cape.
I'm a prick. Yeah, I'll be a prick, especially to them.
Cool. So yeah, and then the day ends. Boom, 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 and the keeper comes along, and you have 2 calorie bricks. And your water has a piece of fruit floating in it. And he's like, "You did real good, boy. You did real good." And there doesn't seem to be any sign of them replacing the bed or the burned up stuff. But at least it's not bad. So yeah, what is your talent?
So I would say performing. Out of these, I have talent for performing.
Cool. So that's what they expect from you, yeah? Right, so what is it you're good at that they don't expect?
I think observation is something they don't expect me to have, but I'm really good at.
Okay.
They're very keen on, fogging me with smoke and stuff like that, but I keep my cool.
So what's your 1 in a million, Hail Mary shot type thing that you can do? That they love it when you do it, but you don't do it very often.
I think I break my instruments in a very dramatic way. I would say this is linked to sabotage as a skill, perhaps.
Okay, cool.
Stuff. Nice.
Yep, sure. And what can you not stand when they make you do it?
Stealth.
You're loud and in charge.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm present. I will never stand in the back or be hidden in any way.
Okay, cool. Right. So we've done our thing. So so now we are doing the prelude to the escape. So basically, you need to escape. Okay. The keepers are roughly 3 times the size of you guys. They're not gigantic, but they are bigger than you.
Okay.
Okay.
Is this height?
No, they're kind of humanoids. They're humanoid shaped and sized, but they're 3 times bigger than you. However, they do have some. Guards which are kind of lobotomized. Like the lobotomized versions of people that try to misbehave and escape.
Oh, so they're human-sized.
They're human-sized, and that's they basically keep them around to get in. If you scuttle under a desk or whatever, they'll send in one of the humans.
Yeah.
But they're lobotomized and partly cyborg. Yeah. Ooh. So you've got those to deal with. All of the enclosures, the only way in and out are is through the feeding hatch, or if you can activate the performance subroutine, you'll be able to climb out of the viewing room area onto the main walkway. And finally, you from someone who escaped and they kind of came back. You don't know what they did to not get lobotomized and turned into a guard, but apparently, the keepers, when they catch you, they're basically one of the easiest ways to keep away from the keepers is if you make a mess or whatever, the keepers seem to have to clean it up before they do anything.
Okay.
Cool.
So they're obsessive cleaners.
Yeah, they're almost obsessive compulsive about keeping things neat and tidy.
Ooh, interesting.
It gives us some things to work with.
Mm-hmm. So how are you going to, just so we've got the plan for the escape, how are you going to get out of the enclosure? What's your plan of getting out of the enclosure? By the way, you guys...
do this in character?
Partly. So you guys have the ability to sneak into each other's enclosure. Okay, you can already do that. You can sneak into each other's enclosures, no problem. It turns out that the intertubes aren't quite as secure as the keepers thought. So how are you going to... So you need to get out of your enclosures, you need to get past the human-sized guards and the keepers, and then you actually need to escape.
So yeah, shall we be in Chris's enclosure for this? When we meet up?
Cool.
So this is the intersection of the intertube.
Hidden amongst the various racks of
fake
tech shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quieter than mine too. So
yeah.
Okay, so my character is called Jack Viscous. It was supposed to be vicious, maybe, but there was a spelling mistake.
Jack Viscous.
And Jack Viscous, made to be a punk.
My character's name is Jason Hammers, and he's blonde.
Jason Hammers!
Jason Hammers!
Woo! Are we doing character voices?
Please, God, no. Yeah, just as a ground rule for my games, if I'm running them, you guys can make up your own ground rules, but I do not associate wacky voices or being loud with role-playing. So please, no wacky voices or loud.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, That's a point of noise. No, so
I mean, if he's on stage doing it, surely that's okay.
Yeah. he has his stage voice and his actual voice.
Yeah.
So how are you guys planning on getting out? How are you going to get out of your enclosure, like into the main area of the zoo?
Well, one solution would be to just smack the guys, like smash something on their heads or something similar.
I've got a plan.
Okay.
So they make these stupid policeman things that I have to fight on. It'll be next week by the time we can do it. Or is there another day where I have to fight something mechanical?
Oh, but all the time you have to fight stuff mechanical.
Yeah, I'll know which days though. Well,
yeah, it was Funk. Yeah, it was Funk the Polip. What you guess it's going to be is you're gonna go to a concert and have to fight other punks, quote unquote.
Okay, so my plan is when it's Punk on Punk Day, then I'm gonna steal some mechanical bits. The guards are cyborgs, right?
Yeah.
So my plan is someone else gets us to the outside, and then we glue mechanical bits to our faces, so that the keepers will think that we're the guards and pretend to be chasing ourselves.
You won't be able to glue them. You'll have to safety pin them to your face.
I mean, if we could find some glue, then hopefully. I mean, it's a backup plan.
Okay,
it's
cool.
A safety pin.
So
I would rather I think glue might be one of our MacGuffin items.
Okay, so you
peanut butter.
So you need to steal mechanical bit, and you need to steal something sticky.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get something sticky.
Yeah, but if worst comes to worst, you can safety pin them to your face.
Well, I mean, I've had practice, but I don't know about these guys.
You can hold them down.
I'll use my hair to tie knots around them, perhaps, and put them in front of my face.
But that's currently my part of the plan. I think that we should, once we're on the outside, we disguise ourselves as guards and go hunting for, basically, we're hunting for ourselves.
That's how you're going to get around the lobotomized guard?
Yes.
Cool. So, the other two, how are you going to get out of the enclosure, and how are you going to get out of the zoo proper?
The musical instrument, the guitar, is quite a powerful weapon. So I think if we find something to cut with a laser or something to burn with the flames, it could work, or we could...
So you create a distraction using the guitar or some other instrument that you've got?
Yeah, we could build a sort of pile of things, and I can just set fire to it, and the guards will come running in order to fix this because they're obsessed with fixing stuff.
And then you'll dash out while there's the big fire.
Yeah, like we will be standing right next to the door and just fly out or something.
Okay. So we've got a few days to prep before it's Punk on Punk Day, and I can try steal the mechanical parts.
Yep.
And you're not scheduled for another big performance for a little bit, are you?
No. He's going to have a pool party, which is going to involve throwing things into a pool.
Amazing. Mm-hmm.
That's all you do tomorrow is just throw things into a big pool.
So I think what you guys are going to have to do is we're going to have to somehow disable the safeties on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing we're going to have to do, which possibly means we're going to have to get some tools.
So you're going to have to disable the safeties to create a big fire, and then when the keepers run in, you're going to run out. Okay, cool. And then you're going to steal mechanical bits and something sticky to get around the guards.
Stolen those, and then we're going to try work. We'll probably have to talk to people, see what we can find out in the intervening time.
Mm-hmm.
Find out if we can find anything out about just outside.
Yeah.
Like where the doors are would be a nice one.
We should meet the guy that has been back from outside as well. So the guy who's been lobotomized. No, not really a lobotomized guard, but he's been back in.
I think we're going to have to be very careful about that because the keepers are going to be watching him.
Okay. So you're going to find out about the outside. You maybe meet the outside dude.
If we can work out where he's going to be, I mean, this is going to take some coordination.
Chris, you got any ideas?
With the stuff.
Yeah. See if we can meet up with him. See what, well, if nothing else, you should know some stuff about what else is out there. Beyond that, you seem to have the basics of a plan, so see what else we can gather and roll from there.
Okay, so
Okay,
what
cool.
we've got a list of things that we need to be keeping an eye out for.
Yep,
I
will
say
drop.
we meet back up tomorrow evening in character, and then we'll discuss what we've seen over that day and what we've managed to get done.
Cool.
Okay?
Yep, fine by me.
Okay.
Brilliant. Let's do that then.